Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. This is going to be the first one of the year. Haven't done one of these in a while. I've had a whole lot to talk about, but just not enough time to really kind of work in a lot of these. I guess this is the beginning of the year. It's also near the beginning of winter time, so I'll speak briefly about preparing yourself for the winter. If any of you have been flea market vendors or outside vendors anywhere, you know, wintertime brings about, of course, a lot of cold, sometimes snow, and slow sales, especially after Christmas. Because if you're an outside business, the last thing a lot of people want to do is to get up in the morning at 20, 30 degrees and go do some shopping outside. This is where having a storefront, this is where having an inside heated place gives you the advantage. Because let's say if you're a dealer like myself that deals in media, specifically video games, a lot of people are not going to want to go outside and deal with me versus going to a traditional inside heated game store. So you have to prepare yourself. One preparation you got to do is you got to get yourself, if allowed, a heater. Because this is, even if it's just a small heater to heat your hands, you got to think you're going to be using your hands a whole lot, specifically for counting money back, for counting change back. I've had some mornings back where I have poor blood circulation as it is. I could barely feel my fingertips, and that makes it very difficult to count money back, especially, let's say, if you drop some of the money that someone hands you. It could be a chore, actually just, getting some feeling in your hands to even pick up that money off the pavement. So you have to have something to warm your hands. Some people get those hot hands hand warmers. I've heard those work really well. But the biggest problem I had, and the thing I dreaded, was the fact that over the winter months at the flea market, I would not have access to any heat because I was told we were not allowed to have any heaters. This is the assumption I was under. But there's a big, big, big positive for me. I found out last weekend that any of the outside vendors, the outside areas, I knew they could have the different types of heat, kerosene heat, non-electrical plug-in heat. But apparently, you can have electric heaters. And I was incredibly ecstatic upon hearing this because that means not only can I warm my hands, but I can get in front of it, I could stay warm and still conduct my business. Otherwise, you're going to be wanting to leave early because where I'm at, there's no sunlight that comes through after maybe 9:30. Last weekend, I backed my car in. I have my Impala trunk popped up, and there's a little bit of sunlight that comes through. So instead of sitting on my regular stool up near the table, I sit back literally in the trunk, and I look silly sitting inside of the trunk, but that's the only way I could actually get some nice sunlight. Me, I can handle extreme heat, but I'm a wuss when it comes to cold, man. Maybe it's due to my, like I said, poor blood flow. Just affects me a little more than others. So right now I'm at Wally World looking for a heater. I don't know if I'll get a big one, a small one, because like I said, I just need it for a couple hours in the outside. Maybe a Lasco. I heard Lascos are really good. Of course, it's going to be money taken out of my budget to put forth into the business. This is a business expense, but it's very important there. Just briefly, I will say 2023, not a great year sales-wise. I had a great setup, great spreads. Like I've made good deals acquiring things for myself, my personal collection. So it's more of a positive for my personal game collection than it was selling. For instance, like that $60 haul with all those PS4 games. That's stuff that I would have bought regularly, probably. especially that Sekiro Resident Evil Village. So I've increased my personal game collection just because I'm acquiring things to sell to the flea market. That's ironic, you know. A lot of this stuff that I'm acquiring, I'm like, damn, not a scratch on that disc. Damn, that's a good game, you know. So that's one positive there. I've learned a couple things. I've learned that the economy is shit. It is so shit. People don't want to pay, or they can't pay anything for anything now. I mean, the reasoning being the economy is shit. Everything is increased in value. I've talked about this before. Not in value, but in price. You're paying a lot more money for the same items in 2023 than you did in 2022 even. Inflation rates are out of control. I know there's normal inflation rates that happen, but no. It's not just that. I mean, video games, I heard might be going up to $80 at some point. That's just a rumor though. But video games have went up from $60 to $70. I just saw Tekken, the new Tekken. But I take pause and I'm like, you know, yeah, it looks nice, but is it $70 nice? Don't even get me started on the car market, the car and truck market. Some trucks going for almost $100,000. People had less money to spend at places like the flea market in 2023. The holidays even. People were spending less money at the flea market. Not just myself, I've been talking to other vendors. And I warned them near the end of summer. I'm like, okay, colder weather hits. You guys and gals got to adjust. This is not going to be the big winter that you think it's been. Might be a little bit of a bump right now because it's the first of the year, getting after the holidays, but I'm not even saying that anymore. I used to go like, okay, going to be a sunny day. Going to be a sunny day, first of the month. Everyone's got their money from the government. Okay, they're going to be coming here spending. Nope. So you got to adjust for the wintertime, man. One thing, like I said, getting a heater. Other than that, don't buy as much if you're selling because people are not going to be outside. People are not going to be outdoors. And even if they are, you know, is it worse to underestimate the sales or worse to overestimate? I think it's worse to overestimate because if you have more sales than normal, the idea is if they're there anyway, they're probably going to be buying stuff from you anyway, even if it's the stuff you don't have. Yeah. So there you go.